1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
Game 191, Orioles at Red Sox.
Welcome back, baseball fans. 1971-74 Carryover League. We got a best-of-7 series today from the American League. American League East, the Baltimore Orioles and the Boston Red Sox. Two teams who traditionally play very long competitive series against each other, I've noticed, over the years normally. And they have been the teams at the top of the American League East. Boston won it last year and 3 years ago. Baltimore in between. Baltimore won a World Series a few years ago. Boston won a World Series in a different timeline that I play in the fall. So it's not unaccustomed for the Red Sox and Strat-O-Matic to do very well in the American League East, and unlike what historically happened for them in this period. Baltimore's getting older. They're still really good. Boston's kind of in between. You know, they've got, of course, Yaz, Petrocelli. Fisk is a rookie, but they don't have Freddie Lynn and Jim Rice yet. And Baltimore is getting older and older. Probably Brooks Robinson and Boog Powell's last really good years with the Orioles are in play. But the pitching staff has got lots of life left. Palmer, Cuellar, McNally. They got Milt Pappas to replace Pat Dobson, and their bullpen is lights out. Normally you don't see a stud starting rotation with one of the best bullpens in baseball. I think the Mets and the Orioles have the two best pitching staffs. Baltimore's bullpen, Grant Jackson, Bob Reynolds, Bill Wilson, Joe Horland, these snookered away from the White Sox. Anyway, let's take a look and see what has happened in this series that opened up in Baltimore. Game 1, Louis Tiant versus Milt Pappas. Pitching advantage to the Red Sox. And in the second inning, you have a two-base error by Al Bunbury, a triple by Kennedy, and a two-run homer by Hal King. Off-season acquisition, left-handed bat off the bench. They gave him a start today, and he came through with a big home run. 3 runs there for the Sox, but in the fourth, the Orioles, they get a walk by Bunbury. Brooks Robinson, a 2-out, 2-run homer, and then Boog Powell, a solo homer. This is a 5-3 game, and in the 7th inning, they get after Tiant. His replacement, Roger Moret, has nothing. And it becomes a 10-5 final. A lot of offense, very atypical for the timeline, but a lot of offense today. Milt Pappas went 6 1/3, 8 hits, 3 runs. Tiant, 6 innings, 10 hits, 8 earned runs for a guy whose ERA was below 2 on his strat card. So very disappointing day for the Red Sox, hoping to come into Baltimore and flip home field with a road win, and it certainly did not happen. And that is not good news at all for Boston. Because in Game 2, it's a little more of the same here. Bill Lee, the spaceman, versus Jim Palmer. And as prone to do, Bill Lee has one really bad inning where all the damage is done, and the rest of the time he pitches fantastically. He throws goose eggs up there for 7 innings. But it's this 4th inning today where he gets up a single, double, single, 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 single. And those 4 runs will be more than enough for Jim Palmer. Palmer gives up a 2-run homer to Carlton Fisk in a 4-2 game. After another Boston reliever stumbles, Abernathy giving up a 3-run homer to Earl Williams, making it 7-2. Palmer takes the afternoon off. Joe Horland finishes the game. Baltimore wins 7-2, 17-7 in 2 very atypical high-scoring games in Baltimore. They're up 2-0 with games 3, 4, and 5 if necessary in Boston. Let's see what happens in Game 3. Red Sox absolutely positively have to win at home here. And in Game 3, we got a long game here today. Mike Cuellar and the Orioles against John Curtis and the Red Sox. Well, early on, we get a double by Doug Griffin and an RBI single by Tommy Harper. It's 1-0 Boston. But in the top of the 6th, we get a Don Buford single and a stolen base and an RBI single by Brooks Robinson. It's 1-1. Curtis leaves after 7, 3 hits, a run, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. He's backed up by Bobby Bolin, 2 shutout innings of relief. Cuellar goes 9 innings, 5 hits, the 1 run, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. So we go extra. For the Red Sox, Roger Moret, 3 shutout innings of relief, 2 hits, and a walk. For Baltimore, Bob Reynolds, 3 innings of relief, 2 hits, and 2 strikeouts. We go to the 14th inning. Top of the 14th inning with 1 out, Boog Powell hits a screamer off the pesky pole, solo shot in the top of the 14th inning off of Ted Abernathy, an off-season acquisition to shore up the Red Sox bullpen, to a cascade of boos by the Fenway faithful, as he has not helped the Red Sox bullpen out. And there's a gigantic chasm of quality between the Baltimore bullpen I mentioned at the beginning of this and Chuck Seelback, Bobby Bolin, Roger Moret, and Ted Abernathy. Not pitching well at all. Bill Wilson pitched a shutout inning to get the win, and then Grant Jackson in the bottom of the 14th. He committed an error, but then he gets a ground ball and a pop out to end a 14-inning marathon. Baltimore wins 2-1 in 14 innings. Bill Wilson gets the win, Grant Jackson the save, Abernathy gets the loss, and oh my God, Boston, this season is getting thin. It's getting ugly here in Fenway early, as they have been grabbing defeat out of the jaws of victory on enough occasions. And let's just take a quick peek at the standings. I know it's early, but it's also worth noting that Boston's normally at the top of the American League East, but this year they are having some hard times. They are 4-8. Baltimore is 10-4. Look at these Blue Jays. This fictional Toronto Blue Jay team has only played 5 games this year, and they've won them all. They won a best of 5, 3-0, and they won a best of 3, 2-0. They are still 9 games to be played, fewer than the Orioles, by the staggered schedule I use. So we'll see. We'll see if Toronto can maintain that. And the Yankees are still in there. But boy, Boston, they have really got to start winning some games. If you watched the previous few series, best of 7s, Giants, Astros, Marlins, Mets, all those series were 0-3, like today. And when I do a broadcast, the team down 0-3 comes off the mat and punches Goliath in the mouth. And that's what Boston's got to do. Do the same thing that those other franchises did. You don't want to lose 4 straight and go -4 net. It'll just kill your chances. It's so hard to recover from being swept 4 straight in the format we use. So anyway, today's starting pitchers for Baltimore, they keep coming at you. They just keep coming at you with arms. You don't get a break against Baltimore. Oh, they got Dave McNally pitching today. Well, he was only 21-5 with a 2.89 ERA and 224 innings in 71. He's the number 3 starter. Arguably, pound for pound, probably the best number 3 starter in all of baseball. He'd probably be an ace or number 2 elsewhere. Of course, Oakland and the Mets and Dodgers would probably complain about that rating. And for the Red Sox, you got Rick Wise. He was a 17-game winner with the Phillies in 71 with a 2.88 ERA. Boston went and got him now. He eventually does pitch for the Red Sox, but they decided to acquire him now while he still had an outstanding card with the Phillies before he transitions to his Red Sox cards, which aren't as good. Dave McNally, Rick Wise, must-win game today in Fenway. Boston has juggled their lineup, trying to get more offense. 1 run in 14 innings in Fenway Park will not work, but they're hoping McNally is not nearly as good as Cuellar. So leading off, it's Don Buford. 37 is a walk. B. Steeler, but they won't challenge Fisk, at least not early. Bobby Grich, 67, off of Wise, is a single to center field. Buford, 16, but they got Dwight Evans in center field today as an experiment with his -3 arm, so he is not going to advance beyond second. 2 on for the number 3 hitter, Al Bunbury. 39 is a walk, and this is not at all what Boston was thinking. Bases loaded, nobody out, and it's Brooks Robinson. 4-4 off of Wise is short X. You have a 3-32 John Kennedy, and that is a GBA. So they get a little bit of relief. A run will score, a runner goes to third, there are 2 outs, and it's Boog Powell. 1-7, Boog Powell walks. 2 on, 2 outs for Earl Williams. 38, Earl Williams single 1-17, and he gets the single, and he can't get out of this inning. Now we'll score that runner from third. You got runners at first and second for Paul Blair. 5-11, pitcher X, Rick Wise. It's an E0, don't have to roll for my home pitchers who are E0s. All right, down 2 and down 3 overall in this series. Leading off, and this is one of the changes, against the lefty, it'll be Yastrzemski because he has a ton of walks and not a lot of hits, so he'll lead off against a lefty. 1-11 is a roller to short. Tommy Harper. 2-5 rolls to short. And Carlton Fisk. 1-2 flies to left field. Top of 2. It is Tom Chopay, the Baltimore right fielder. 67. Off of Wise's card, double 1-5 is a 2-base hit. Frank Duffy's an A bunter. We don't like a bunt in the second inning. 1-6 is a K. Don Buford. 56, short X. The 3-32 shortstop makes the play. And with 2 outs, Bobby Grich. 49 flies to right. Now Wise gets out of that one. Bottom of 2, Mike Andrews. 46, single 1-10. Rolls to 12, he's out. Dwight Evans, 39, rolls to short. And with 2 outs, Petrocelli. 54 off the McNally card. Homer if you got power. And Petrocelli has plenty of it with 28 home runs. It is gone. It's a 2-1 game. Jackie Hernandez. 2 nines a single. And with 2 outs, it's Doug Griffin. 32 pops out. It's 2-1 Baltimore. We go to the third. Al Bunbury. 68. Single 1-18 is a base hit for Bunbury, an ace stealer. Brooks Robinson. 2-12 short B. Replace a slower runner at first now for Boog Powell. 2-8 third B. Even slower runner at first base now with 2 outs for Earl Williams. 3-6 is a K. Wise kind of settling in here with 2 shutout innings. John Kennedy. 68. Pops the second. Yastrzemski, 1-6, is a walk. That's why he's leading off. Tommy Harper, they feel that worst case Harper won't hit in double play, so he'll just get a fielder's choice, then steal second. 34, center. And with 2 outs, Fisk. 63, first X, but Boog Powell's good there. 2-7 first baseman. Makes the play. We go to the fourth. Paul Blair, 56, is a K. Tom Chopay, 65, homer 1, double. It's a 2-base hit for your number 8 hitter, a 225 hitter, but he gets doubles and 2 plate appearances off of Rick Wise's card. That's not what you want to do here. Frank Duffy, 57 is a K. Runner still at second with 2 outs for Don Buford. 69 is second X, but you got another solid second baseman. 2 really good glove. You got Bobby Grich, a 1E20, and you got Doug Griffin, a 1E19, playing second base today. Bottom of 4th. Mike Andrews, 38 is a walk. Dwight Evans, 6'10 off McNally, center X, but you got Blair, a 1E7 in center field, and he makes the play. Rico Petrocelli homered his last at bat. 47 is a second X, oh boy, a 1E20. An error or a double play is what you're going to get, and it's a 4. 6-3, twin killing. They're getting antsy here in Fenway. This is 2 runs in 18 innings at home. Top of the 5th, Bobby Grich. 1-5 for Grich is a single for the B Steeler. Their single 1-16, excuse me, is a single. Al Bunbury, 55, second C. Runner goes to second for Brooks Robinson. 54, center X, but we have, he's not a 1 in center, he's a 2 in center, but he's a 2E5. Is Dwight Evans. and he makes the catch with 2 outs. It'll be Boog Powell. 2-4 for Boog Powell is a fly to center field. Not bad for Wise. This thing could have gotten out of control. It did not, and Baltimore might regret opening the door, leaving the door open for Boston to come back and win this thing. Bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay, bottom of the 5th, McNally. A solo homer off his cards, the only damage. It'll be Jackie Hernandez. 4-9 is a K. Doug Griffin. 2-4 rolls short. And John Kennedy, 2-3. Pops to second base, McNally. This Baltimore pitching staff is amazing. We go to the 6th inning. It'll be Earl Williams. 64 off of Wise, the power column, homer 1-5 double. It's a 2-base hit. 3rd double today by Baltimore. The first 2 did not do any damage. It'll be Paul Blair. 59 short X. The shortstop is a 332. And it is a single dot this time through John Kennedy. That will score a run. Blair's an ace stealer. Chopay will hit and run, even though he has 2 doubles today. And he'll hit and run here. Not going to tempt fates. Hit and run. Rolls a 7, which means Blair has to steal. Rolls an 11. This is going to be close. Blair's an ace stealer. But Fisk has got a -3 arm being held on, so he's out stealing. That's a tough break for Baltimore there. Blair gets thrown out as Chopay misses the hit and run. And now they got 1 out. And you have Chopay at the bat. Well, maybe I'll get his 3rd double. 2-4 flies to center. By the way, Tom Chappelle had 0 doubles in 1972. With 2 outs, it's Frank Duffy. 2-4 rolls to short. Well, Baltimore got a run in an odd way, and they lead 3-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Not a lot of offense in Fenway, which is extremely odd. It'll be Yastrzemski. 63 off McNally, pitcher X, an E6 pitcher, very good fielder. Makes the play. Tommy Harper, 3-6 is a K, and with 2 outs. Carlton Fisk, 2-9 is a roller to short. 3-1 game in the 7th. Rick Wise, a starter 8. He will continue. Buford, 37 is a walk. Bobby Grich, 57 is a K. Al Bunbury. We haven't seen many cards because this game's played so quickly. Let's take a look at Al Bunbury's card of 1973. This is one of the reasons why Baltimore moved on from Frank Robinson in our league. We wanted to get Bunbury into Baltimore with this 73 card where he gets 337. Find a spot in the lineup and in the outfield for him. So they ended up trading Frank Robinson. And who did they get for Frank Robinson? I can't remember. They got... I think Grant Jackson, or I forgot what we did. It's been a while. It's been a couple years. But anyway, Bunbury is at the plate here with a runner at first and 1 out, and here is the pitch. 38 is a K, and with 2 outs, let's take a look at another card. It's Brooks Robinson here, batting cleanup. And why? Well, because he hit 20 home runs in 71. But if you look carefully, most of all those are against righties. He does not have power against lefties. And he's got homer 1-19, 09, and 10, and power. So it's a slugging Brooksy we have in the league this year. And here's the pitch to Brooks Robinson. 1-8 is a walk. And now you got Boog Powell, Rick Wise. Now, key moment. Rick Wise, must be noted, he's very good against left-handed batters, like Boog Powell. They have often gone to Roger Moret in situations like this, and it's failed miserably for the Red Sox. And Wise is a starter 8 anyway, and he's only given up 3 runs. And Powell walks the same against lefties and righties, and homers are close. So he's just going to pitch to Boog Powell here. The pitch to Boog Powell. 2-10 is a sky to center field. Wise gets out of it. It's 3-1. Stretch time at Fenway Park in Boston. We have been listening to Aerosmith's 1973 debut record, In the Timeline, Dream On, etc. walking the dog on this debut record from Boston's finest, Aerosmith. Okay, back to the game. Bottom of the 7th. They need a Fenway rally here. Dave McNally is cruising along, a solo homer and a single. And he has gone 3 batters over the minimum. But Boston needs a late rally. And also defensively, Baltimore is going to put Leroy Stanton in the outfield, where Chopin was. And they're going to put Bobby Wine in at shortstop. They're not going to worry about Earl Williams yet. Actually, you know what? They will. They will take... They will put Echeverria behind the plate so you can't get a stolen base out of one of your, hook them in for Bunbury. Full defensive replacement in the 7th inning with a 2-1 lead, looking for a sweep. Leading off for the Red Sox, it'll be Mike Andrews. 6-10 off McNally, center X. This is Blair, 1-7 in center field. He makes the grab. Dwight Evans. 37 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Rico Petrocelli. 39 is a walk, and your tie run is Jackie Hernandez. Let's take a look at this guy. On the bench, Boston's got 3 lefties. Larry Stahl doesn't have a hit on his card. Hal King doesn't have homers or a homer on his card, and Rick Miller doesn't do either. Jackie Hernandez is sort of one of 2 shortstops along with John Kennedy, but he has power both ways. So that's his redeeming quality. And he's slightly better against lefties than righties. They're going to have to wait till next year before they get Rick Burleson on their team. So Jackie Hernandez will swing here as the tie run in 2 outs. Here's the pitch. 69 off McNally. Skies to center field. Well, outside of that 5-4 homer off of McNally card, Boston hasn't gotten a whiff of anything off McNally's card. As we go to the 8th, Rick Wise is breaking inning. He will continue and face Earl Williams. 68, single 1-3, and he lines out. Paul Blair, 2-3, pops to short. And Leroy Stanton in there for Chopin. 67 is a single. He's a good base runner, 14, not a good base stealer. But you got Bobby Wine with 2 outs. 2-8, single 1-2, 2, line out the rest. And it's a line out the rest. So Rick Wise got through 8 innings today with just the 3 runs. And as the first inning went, you thought this would be a disaster. He's actually pitched fantastically for Boston. So that is a good omen going forward for them, that Rick Wise is a dependable guy. And he and Lee can pitch on 3 days rest. Tiant and John Curtis cannot. 6 outs to go, though, for a sweep. McNally, now, as far as that extra inning game, Bob Reynolds was not available. He went 3 innings. Joe Horland is fresh, and Bill Wilson and Grant Jackson are available. But Bob Reynolds is not, after going 3 yesterday. So, bottom of the 8th inning, all Baltimore's defense is in, and it'll be Doug Griffin leading off for the Sox. 6-11 off McNally. His left X. Now, Buford's just okay. He's a 3-4. This is your opportunity here to get on base. 3-4, and they cannot. Baltimore's defense has been stiff in this series. John Kennedy, 2-5, double 1-18 is a 2-base hit. And the tie run is Yastrzemski. Let's take a look at Carl Yastrzemski's card. Of 1973, he had 105 walks. We know about 1970. Should have been your American League MVP because he had 40 homers and hit 329. 71 and 72, Carl was just kind of ordinary. But then in 73 and 74, as he got into his mid-30s, he took more pitches and drew more walks. 105 walks with 19 home runs and a 296 average. So after down years in 71 and 72, Yaz comes back with a fine card here in 73. He has power against lefties, and righties, of course. And here's the pitch to Yaz. 1-6, he draws the walk. That's what they wanted to do. Get the tie run on board. Now McNally, 1 batter away from being chased. You got righty, 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 righty. And the lefties on the bench aren't impressive. And I think Earl's going to pull his guy. You don't lose a game when you have this great a bullpen and you're trying to sweep your opponent. So McNally will leave. He cannot lose. He goes 7 1/3. The base runners are his responsibility. But they're going to go to a young kid, Joe Horlin, a guy they got in the Davey Johnson Earl Williams trade that I did in my league. When I say I got him in this trade, I'm not talking about historic Major League Baseball. I'm talking about the carryover league where cards are in different places. But Joe Horlin in 72 pitched for Oakland with an ERA of 3 in 84 innings after a nice career with the White Sox. So he was a 72 Oakland A. So this is more good news for the rest of baseball that Joe Horlin is not on Oakland helping the Dynasty A's. Unfortunately, he's helping the Dynasty O's. Here in the 8th, Joe Horlin will face Tommy Harper and Fisk. With 2 runners on, looking for a double play, but Harper does not hit into him. He's so lightning quick. Tommy Harper, let's take a look at his career before he swings. 1973, 17 homers and a .281 batting average, probably his best year with the Sox. So here we go, the pitch to Tommy Harper. 47 off of Horlin is a single to right field. Kennedy, I don't think you run him and run out of the inning, no, because you're down 2. So they'll go station to station, setting this thing up for Carlton Fisk. Let's take a look at Fisk. 72, I think he was the Rookie of the Year. 22 homers, a .293 average for Fisk, and they gave him -3 arm, and oh my goodness, folks, yeah. Carlton Fisk, bases loaded, 1 out. Got to stay out of the double play here if you're Boston. The pitch to Carlton Fisk. 1-6 Fisk homer. 1-11, double the risk, and it's gone. A grand slam by Carlton Fisk in the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Red Sox are trying to pull victory out of the jaws of defeat with a 5-3 lead now. And Baltimore finally does something bad in the bullpen. That's because you don't have Bob Reynolds today. You had to go with Horlin, and it cost them. 5-3 Boston. Bases are empty. Still just 1 out, and it's Mike Andrews. 111 is a walk. Now you got Dwight Evans. 34 is a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. But it's 5-3. And Boston will improve their defense by sending Rick Miller in there where Andrews was in the lineup. He'll go into center. Evans goes to right field. Harper goes back to left field. Yaz goes to first base. So that's all the great defense Boston has. And we go to the 9th inning. Now Rick Wise has a 2-run lead. I think they let him pitch to Buford, and that's it. Because he's good against lefties with a 2-run lead. Not in danger of breaking either. Rick Wise will face Buford to lead off the 9th. 1-9 is a fly ball to right field. And now the bullpen, and okay, they're going to do it. They're going to pull him after 8 1/3 innings now. And the Fenway faithful are nervous because this bullpen has not lived up to reputation. But they're going to go to Ted Abernathy. Abernathy was actually a Royal in 72. 3-4 with a sparkling 171 ERA in 58 innings. Outstanding pitcher. And that's why the Red Sox went out and got him with Rick Wise in these 2 players, Rick Wise and Abernathy. They were picked up for Reggie Smith in the offseason, so they got to pay off today in a big way. Ted Abernathy in the 9th will face Bobby Grich. 1-7, it's a walk. And here come the Boo Birds already. Grich will just run down to second base as they have a 2-run lead, and they don't want to hold him at first. And that sets up Etchebarren, who was put in there to replace Bunbury when they had the lead for defense at catcher and move Bunbury out of DH. So this could have been Al Bunbury if Baltimore did not make that substitution. It'll be Andy Etchebarren now. The pitch. 47 off of Abernathy is single 1-3, line out the rest, and that is a 6, and that's a line out the rest, and that's because you got an outstanding reliever here. That's most of the time with that template you're going to get a hit, but not against Abernathy, and that's an out. Big out there in the 9th, and with 2 outs and the tying run at the plate, it is Brooks Robinson. We saw his card earlier. He of those 20 home runs, he needs a 2.9 or 2.10. Possibly 4-4 to tie this thing. The pitch to Brooks Robinson. 67 is a strikeout, and Abernathy gets the save in the ninth, and the Red Sox come back and win Game 4. And for the third series in a row, we do not get a 4-game sweep as the team trailing comes back defiantly. Carlton Fisk gets the post-game pie in the face congratulatory such and such for his grand slam. Abernathy gave up a walk and a K in the save. How about Rick Wise? 9 hits, doesn't get his roses as part of the Steve Carlton trade and so forth and so on. But today, he did a nice job. Gave up 3 runs in 8 1/3 innings. Got out of a lot of jams. Walked 5, struck out 6. Joel Horland takes the loss here. We said McNally was not going to lose, and he didn't. But Horland does. Not a good day for the young man. 2 hits, 2 runs, and a walk. Because he would be an older man by this point of his career. Dave McNally has to settle for a no decision. 3 hits and 3 runs. 2 of those inherited. 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. Only 5 hits for the Red Sox today, and they all mattered. The solo homer by Petrocelli and the grand slam for Fisk. 1019-0108 5539 5539 6753 5367. Baltimore may regret this in a big way. They put 15 runners on base today. Boston only had 10. So they had every opportunity to sweep the Sox. You don't want to leave the Red Sox out there with some life and have them come back and bite you. So that's it today. We'll take a look at the composite box here for the 2 teams. And I'll do a game 5 and then 6 and 7 if necessary, and give you the report at the end of the video. So let's take a look at the stats for both teams. Baltimore has a nice little cushion, as we expect Toronto to, we think they're going to stumble. They're a fictional team with extra players that are playing out of their minds. Much needed victory for the Red Sox. We'll start with them. They improved to 5-8. They dig themselves out. At least they got the shovel in the ground. Begin the process. Now the Boston Red Sox, ladies and gentlemen, are hitting .206. Now if the Red Sox are going to hit .206, I don't even know why I'm playing this. We're wasting everybody's time. You can't do a thing in Boston hitting .206. They got a very respectable 3.64 team ERA. Bill Lee is 2-2, the ERA of around 3. John Curtis, he's 1-1, but his ERA is around 1.5. So they've got the pitching, but the hitting's been atrocious. Yaz is 9 for 49, hitting about 180. That's not going to get it done. Carlton Fisk, I know he hit that grand slam today. He's got 4 homers and 12 RBI to lead the team, but he's just 9 for 53. That's not going to get it done for the Sox. Now Baltimore is 10-5. They're only hitting .251. It's not like they're world beaters, but they have a .236 team ERA. And Joel Horland has given up 4 runs now on the year in 5 innings. He's a weak link in the Baltimore pen. McNally is, unfortunately, 3-0. Got a no decision today. Could have been 4-0, but his bullpen blew it for him. Not a lot of power yet for Baltimore either. 191 games in the league thus far. .254 average, a .319 on base, a .341 ERA, and a .136 WHIP. We'll give you the result of Game 5 in Fenway. It'll be back to Bill Lee at the top of the rotation in a Game 5. And Baltimore will have Jim Palmer. So it's a repeat of Palmer-Lee, a game that Palmer won in Game 5 in Fenway. And if it goes back to Baltimore, it'll be Pappas and Cuellar. And for Boston, it will be Tiant and Rick Wise on short rest. And they'll skip Curtis the second time through. That's it today. We'll give you the results of the rest of this series at the end of the video. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time. Well, baseball fans, here's that box score for Game 4. The Carlton Fisk grand slam home run that they desperately needed to keep the series alive in their 5-3 victory. So what happens in Game 5 where Bill Lee and Jim Palmer have a pitching rematch in Fenway this time instead of Baltimore. Well, great game. Buford leads off the game with a single. Runners on the corners, and then a ground ball to Yastrzemski, and Yastrzemski uncharacteristically boots the ground ball. Baltimore gets an unearned run. Bottom of the second inning, Mike Andrews, nice little player, played for Boston and the White Sox, could play second and first and DH, draws a lot of walks, has a nice pop, hits a solo home run. It's a 1-1 game. It stays this way until the 7th, when, after 2 outs, a walk and a single, Bill Lee is left in there because he's really pitched well. And pitched better than he did in his last start. And we had Boston's bullpen failures. He gets up a 2-out single to Brooks Robinson, then he gets the final out. It's 2-1. This game would go to the 9th inning. Again, 2 outs, nobody on. Grich doubles. He hits a double one, single ... So he hits it, so he's on second instead of first. So do you pitch to Paul Blair or Brooks Robinson? Bill Lee elected to pitch to Paul Blair instead of putting an extra runner on base, and it's an RBI single that makes it 3-1. It's a real shame for Bill Lee. Meanwhile, Palmer's going for a complete game 3-1 victory, but he runs into problems in the 9th after a ground out. Fisk, the pain in the side, singles. He gets Doug Griffin to fly out. Then with 2 outs, Larry Stahl, could have been the final out of the game. He's an off-season player they acquired from the Padres. Gets a bloop single to send the winning run to the plate. The headache, Mike Andrews, who homered earlier in this game, has been a real headache for the Orioles. So Baltimore, similar situation into the last game where they pulled McNally so he couldn't lose. This time, though, they go with Grant Jackson, the closer. And Grant Jackson, needing just to get the 1 out, strikes out Mike Andrews to end the game. So Palmer's final line, 8 2/3, 5 hits, a run, a walk, 4 strikeouts. Bill Lee, this is a tough loss for him, 8 2/3. They give up 10 hits, though he scattered most of that. 3 hits, 3 runs, only 2 of those runs were earned, 4 walks and a K. But Baltimore does indeed, it is kind of a gentleman's sweep. They could have swept them 4 straight if not for the 5th grand slam, but they end up outlasting them in a game 5, 3-1. Boston's offense again. You take away the 5th grand slam, they would have scored 3 runs in 3 games. That's how bad it's been in Boston. Their team batting average is still around 203 after this. That's it today from Fenway Park. Congratulations, Orioles. They've won this series 4 games to 1. Thanks for checking this out, and we'll see you next time.